All right, I'm going to show you how to play InterSET5 today, and I'm going to start off by just showing you the basic idea of the game so you get a hang of it. So I'm going to turn the sound off for this one, and here we go. This is the game. All right, so here's the game screen. You can see there's 5 sets in the pentagon, and then there's a range that you have to stay within. So you have to choose a number from 8 to 33. Now the time is already up. I had it set on 10 seconds, which is obviously not enough time. And once the timer goes off, you're going to see that this is randomizing. It's just spinning around here on the 5 different sets. So n is greater than 30. And by the way, this is level 3 or the middle level. N is greater than 30. So that would be a set of numbers that anything that's bigger than 30, not including 30, right? Not greater than or equal to. A multiple of 6 between 20 and 40, less than 15, or a multiple of 8. Now, the number that you choose, what students are going to do is they're going to choose any one number, has to be between 8 and 33, and they're trying to match as many of these sets as they possibly can to improve their chances of having the randomizer land on a set that they have a number in. So let's just think about this. The number is greater than 30, but we can only go up to 33, any number from 8 to 33. So I could pick 31, 32, or 33, and it would fit in that set. Multiple of 6, the only number that would fit in, or there's quite a few, it would fit in 8 to 33. I can pick the number 12, 18, 24, or 30. Any of those numbers would fit into this. Now, I don't see any crossover here between these two sets. There's no intersection between greater than 30 and a multiple of 6 that fits in that range. So I'd have to choose between those two on the number that I'm picking. Between 20 and 40, now obviously up to 40 has to be less, has to be 33 or less. But I could get a crossover here, and I could get a crossover here between these two sets. So let's pick a number right now that fits with both of these sets. That would be like, say, 24. 24 is a multiple of 6, and it's between 20 and 40. So if it landed on either one of these two, and I had the number 24, I would win that round or get points for that round. Less than 15, well, it can't be between 20 and 40. It'd be less than 15. I could pick the number 12, and that's a multiple of 6, and it's less than 15. And so that one would work for both of these sets. Multiple of 8, 8, 16 works. 24, 24 works for that one too. So I could pick the number 24, have that be a multiple of 8, 3 times 8, a multiple of 6, 4 times 6, and it's between 20 and 40. So the most sets that any number that can be chosen in a round is 3. There's no way that the computer will let you pick a number that is going to match 4 of the sets or 5 of the sets. So if I can find one that matches 3 of the sets, I've got a good number. So 24 will be found in this set, and this set. So I'm going to write the number 24 down, and then the leader is going to stop the randomizer, and it picked between 20 and 40. So my number is in that set. 24 is between 20 and 40. So I would get points for that round. Now, how many points I get depends on, I got to move this down here. How many points I get, it depends on how many students basically won that round or ended up with a number in that set. So I've got this set at 30 students for a class. Let's say that 5 students picked a number between 20 and 40. Probably going to be more than that on between 20 and 40. Let's go like 8 students. Then I click calculate points, and each one of us 8 students that picked a number in that set gets 3 points each. So we would write that down on our point sheet. We just keep track of our points on a piece of paper. And if you would like to, we have an option right here to show the winning numbers. So you can click on that, and it shows you all the numbers that are winning or that are between 20 and 40, which are actually between 20 and 33. but 20 doesn't count because 20 is not between 20 and 40. It has to be more than 20 and less than 40. And it shows you all the numbers right here that fit into that set. So anyone that wrote down the number 21, 22, 23, etc., all the way up to 33 would get 3 points for that round based on the fact that there are 8 students that picked a number in that set. And we say that the points are based on rarity. So 27% shows right here, it's kind of small, I know, 27% of the students picked a number in that set, and that results in 3 points for each one of those students for this round. Let's change the number so you can see what happens. Let's say only 2 students ended up in that set. Each student would get 5 points. And the most points you can get is 5, and that's part of the name, InterSET5, and there are 5 different sets. So another thing that you can do with your students is you can discuss the rarity here, or the statistics of getting a number that fit into the sets. There were 2 numbers that fit into 3 sets. So 24 would have been one of them. I'm not sure right now, I'd have to figure it out, but what the other number would have been, that would have been in 3 sets. 5 numbers were found in 2 sets. 15 numbers were found in just 1 set. And 4 numbers from 8 to 33 would have been in none of the sets. So you can see that students can't just write down any random number and have even a chance of winning when that winning set is selected. So that's the basic idea of the game. Now I'm going to take you through some strategies. Oh, and then you would pick next round, and it gives you 5 new sets, or at least a new combination with a new range of numbers. The timer goes, and students have to have chosen a number by the time the timer goes off. But let me go through right now with you how we recommend that you play this with your class. So let's see, we're going to go back to the beginning. Let's go back here. Okay. First of all, you need, each student should have a whiteboard, an eraser, and a marker. And then each group of students would have a score sheet. And here we have a score sheet for 3 students with a pencil for them to keep score on. The students look at the 5 different sets, and they write one number down on their whiteboard, as we just saw just a minute ago. So here are some students writing down their answers, and I would put the students in homogeneous or close to homogeneous groups. You don't want one of the students that really struggles with math to be working with someone who's really top-notch in math, because then they're going to not have much of a chance of winning. So in this case, these 2 students are competing against each other. They're not competing against the whole class, just the student that they're in a group with. You can also put the kids in groups of 4, 3, 5, whatever you want, but I would recommend between 2 and 5 students. Again, the only students they're competing with in the game are the students in their homogeneous group. But you're going to use the statistics for the entire class to determine the rarity scoring. So once the students pick a number and the winning set is determined, you're going to count how many students in the entire class are in that winning set and put that number in the box on the screen. As the students are picking a number, because it's with the whole class, they have to think in their heads, what numbers, what set do I think that the other students are going to fall in? Because I want to be in a set that maybe is, if I'm pretty good at math, I want to pick one that's a little bit harder to land in. And that's going to give me a better chance of being one of the very few students that wins that round, which means I'm going to get more points. And once a student has their answer written down, they should hide it, especially from the students in their own group, so that the other students don't know what number they picked. It's also good to hide it from the other students in the whole class, because maybe if that student's really good at math, then you'd have another student that would accidentally peek over and see their number and just kind of copy what number that they wrote down. So it should be private, the number they wrote on their board. Okay, so when the timer is done, all the students have to immediately put the cap on their marker and set their marker down. If they continue to write after the timer goes off, then they don't get any points for that round. That's kind of a good rule to have. So once the timer goes off, then the teacher or a student in the class is going to hit the randomizer button, and that's this button right here. So you hit that, and then the different sets start lighting up, and this turns into the word stop. Now you want to have the leader or one of the students hit the stop button, and then it highlights or lights up on one of the sets, which is your winning set, contains a 5. So if you wrote down a number, if the students wrote down a number that contains a 5 at all, then they would be in the winning set. All right, let's keep going here. While the randomizer is going, I would ask your students to show their number to kind of have proof of, hey, this is the number I picked. And so once the randomizer hits on the winning set, they compare that number to the winning set. It's also a good idea to have a student hit the stop button on the screen. Now, obviously, these are AI pictures, and we don't have a button that they hit, but on the screen they hit the stop button to choose, and that kind of makes it a little bit more ownership for the kids. And again, once that randomizer stops, it picks one of the sets, and then the students start comparing. In this case, between 30 and 60, the students start comparing. Does my number fit into that category or into that set? The students can discuss with each other if they disagree. That one student says, oh, I wrote down the number 24 and that is a factor of 5, or that is a multiple of 5. And so then the other students can be like, no, that's not a multiple of 5. They can discuss that with each other. The teacher can get involved, but it's a good idea for the teacher to stay out as much as possible and let the students do the critical thinking. Another possibility, let me back up here. Another possibility is if it's just kind of getting a little bit too heated or it's taking too long, you can show the students the winning numbers here on the screen. And then the teacher counts the students. The AI artwork here showed the students coming to the front, which you don't need to have them come up to the front. They can just stand up to show that they have a number that landed in the set. The teacher counts how many students were in the winning set, and then they go on to the screen here and enter. In this case, there's 3 students in the winning set. Hit the calculate points, and those 3 students would get 5 points each, which then they record on their point sheet. Now, if you're noticing that the game's getting a little bit too easy for the kids, you can lower the timer. That's a good way to increase the difficulty and force the students to choose maybe the hardest set that they know how to find a number in and get a number from that set first before the timer goes off. But it does kind of up the difficulty level by lowering the timer, obviously. And then the other way that you can obviously, if the level 3 is getting too easy for them, then change it to level 4. All right. So another way to play InterSET5 is you can differentiate and put kids in group that are kind of homogeneously grouped, and instead of having the whole class play together, they could have a laptop or an iPad or something like that, and they could play the game as a group on the right level for them, for those students in that group. So you can see that InterSET5 is a great way to gamify critical thinking. The best part of the game is when they're discussing and coming up with reasoning for why their number fits in the set. But just having a little bit of competition and a gamification makes it a lot of fun for the kids. This is one of many games and resources that are available on zoodlebug.com, so please visit Zoodlebug and check it out for our other resources and some games.